Welcome to Hephzibah Simple Class. Again, I will be talking on membrane proteins. Proteins are organic nitrogenous compounds simply known as polymers of amino acids. The proteins in membrane are responsible for most of the biological functions of any biological membrane. Remember that the major functions of lipids in membrane are to establish a permeability barrier to some molecules from crossing the membrane and to also provide a suitable environment for protein actions. While the carbohydrates attached to lipid or protein, respectively known as glycolipid and glycoprotein, functions as adhesion, cell recognition, or cell-to-cell signaling. Notes: all membranes have several functions in common but differ in their protein contents. For example, a myelin membrane of neurons contains 18% of protein. Plasma membrane contains 50% of protein. The inner mitochondrial membrane contains 75% of protein. Now, let's see the functions performed by proteins of the plasma membrane. 1. As transport. Membrane proteins serve as transport system by shuttling substances such as ions and other proteins and other small molecules or macromolecules from one side to the other side of the membrane. 2. As enzyme activity. Membrane proteins serve as enzyme, thus altering the rate of some sequential steps of a metabolic pathway or process that occurs on cell membranes. 3. As signal transduction. Membrane proteins help in relaying electrical, chemical or hormonal message to the inside of the cell by binding to the cytoplasmic protein. 4. As intercellular binding. Membrane proteins help in the binding of one cell to the adjacent one through all kinds of gap or tight junction. 5. As attachments to the cytoskeleton and extracellular matrix. Membrane proteins bind to elements of cytoskeleton, thus responsible for the maintenance of cell shape and stabilization of the location of some other membrane proteins. Note: the proteins in membrane could be integral or peripheral protein. The integral proteins are the proteins tightly or permanently embedded within the lipid bilayer. The peripheral proteins are the proteins temporarily bound to the lipid bilayer or to the integral proteins. The image here shows the differences between integral proteins and peripheral proteins. Here we come to the end of this class. I want to acknowledge and appreciate authors and owners of every image and material used. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel.